Teen Titans is one of Cartoon Network's most noteworthy shows that touched on a ton of subjects that would be considered dark for a cartoon. For example, Teen Titans even had an episode that shed light on what it's like to struggle with PTSD. In the episode, fans got to see one of their favorite characters struggle with what's real and what's not, when he starts to fight against an enemy that only he can see. Still, that doesn't explain how the writers managed to seamlessly mold something so complex into the plot of a kid's superhero show. Well, it all started with a villain that wasn't really there in the first place and a hero that is easily susceptible to antagonization, like Robin. The episode in question is the Season 3 episode, Haunted, which aired on October 2nd, 2004. Throughout the episode, fans got to watch as Robin appeared to lose his mind. He claimed to be seeing Slade, who was last seen drowning in a pit of molten lava, so understandably, the rest of the Titans were skeptical, which only made Robin more intense about the whole thing. There was even a point in the episode where Robin made Starfire, the character he loved, cry because he was so certain that his arch-nemesis had come back to haunt him. It got so bad that the team was forced to take action against their leader, who was so impacted by his battles with Slade in the past that he couldn't fathom the idea that he's actually gone. This was such a powerful message for the show to take on, especially in 2004, when mental health wasn't really at the forefront of society as much as it is nowadays. To show a character both mentally and physically as strong as Robin be nearly crippled by his own mind was truly eye-opening, especially for those of us who are adults. But how exactly did Robin get to that point where he was visibly suffering from PTSD on screen in Teen Titans? The simple answer is that it all came out of an obsession that Robin wasn't able to let go of. After 2 seasons of constantly battling each other, Robin and Slade's fight came to an end when the masked mercenary was killed by Tara in the 2-part episode Aftershock. This should have been the end of Robin's obsession with the villain, but as we saw in the episode Haunted, that wasn't the case at all. The episode opens up at midnight in Titan's Tower as Cyborg tiredly walks into the main room asking Robin what he's still doing awake. Robin was so wrapped up in what he was looking at on the crime computer that he didn't even look back at his teammate as he replied that he still had work to do. Later that night, Cyborg went to check on Robin yet again and found him in the basement of the tower just staring at Slade's mask. Cyborg reassured Robin that Slade was gone, but the leader of the Titans was not so sure. He couldn't just let go of the idea that Slade was possibly still alive somewhere. This was the first indicator that Robin couldn't seem to bring himself to let go of Slade. Just at that moment though, the tower's crime alarm went off, and the Titans sprang into action as they confronted the villain Cinderblock in the city. While the team fought with Cinderblock, Robin ended up being separated from the team when Cinderblock used an attack that launched him into a nearby forest. It was there that Robin felt like his fears of Slade's return were justified as he regained consciousness, only to see his not-so-dead nemesis standing near a tree not far from him. Robin immediately sprang into action and chased Slade down, though he wasn't able to land a single hit on the mercenary as he taunted Robin. Slade then made a statement that truly horrified the leader of the Teen Titans. He explained that he used Cinderblock as a diversion and had planted multiple seismic generators around the city. Slade managed to vanish before any of the other Titans arrived, of course, but they didn't believe Robin when he explained why he had not been helping them fight against Cinderblock. Robin lashed out at his team and gave them orders to find the seismic generators that Slade spoke about as he and Starfire planned to track down the villain. Do you think he legitimately expected to find Slade though? Because in the end, all Robin did was turn on his team, forcing them to stop him from doing anything stupid simply because he was being haunted by a seemingly real memory of his nemesis. In the episode, after searching for Slade for a bit, Robin radioed back to his team to see if they found the generators, but there was no sign of anything. Robin unfairly lashed out at them again and claimed that he should have done it himself before continuing his search for Slade. Eventually, Robin found what he thought was Slade, and the pair fought for a moment, before the latter managed to escape once again. Only this time, he seemed to run right by Starfire, so Robin aggressively grabbed her by the arm and reprimanded her for letting him go. The issue here was that Star said she couldn't see Slade. She told Robin that no one was there. A little while later, Starfire was shown meeting up with the rest of the Titans, and she claimed that Robin went to look for Slade alone since she couldn't see him anyway. They all clearly looked worried about their leader as they all wondered what they could do to help him. The episode continued by showing Robin arriving at Slade's hideout and trying to get the jump on him, but Slade was ready and immediately started to taunt Robin as a fight ensued. It was a very one-sided fight as Robin couldn't land a single blow on Slade. By the time the rest of the Titans showed up to the hideout, they could hear Robin screaming in pain. They rushed to his side, but again, couldn't see Slade. Robin explained that he was wearing some sort of cloaking device, but this is where the episode starts to get a bit deeper. The team claims that Slade wasn't there, so Robin basically says that he will take down anyone who tries to stop him from finding his nemesis. This was when Star decided to knock him out with a star blast and have the team bring him back to the tower. Haunted continues by showing the team discussing Robin's situation while he was lying in a hospital bed in the infirmary. However, after escaping and luring the team into the room, he officially turned on them by activating the quarantine protocol, locking them into the infirmary room. Starfire was the first to try to break out of the room, but when she couldn't, the group was forced to rely on Raven's telepathy to communicate with Robin. As she did this though, she got a huge surprise. As Raven eventually managed to get into Robin's head and the pair argued over Slade's presence, the villain himself appeared and threw a punch at Robin, a punch that Raven felt. But does Raven feeling the fight between Robin and Slade mean that Slade was really there? That's a complicated question, because in the end, Slade wasn't actually there, but the team would soon learn that Robin was so haunted by him that he was easily susceptible to believing that he was actually fighting him. This might sound a bit confusing, but the episode did a great job of explaining it. When Raven felt Robin being hit by Slade, she realized that the villain was real enough in Robin's head that he had basically manifested him. But he didn't do it alone. As Robin and Slade fought in the basement, Slade said terrifying things to Robin, like, "I'm the evil that haunts every dark corner of your mind." That was actually the moment that Robin realized that Cyborg had been right the entire time, and that Slade wasn't really there. Robin shed some light on the situation, literally, as he turned on the lights to the basement, forcing the figment of Slade to disappear. It was at that moment that Robin's friends showed up to support him, and Cyborg discovered that there was an outside force messing with Robin as well. Cyborg noticed that Slade's mask contained some sort of hallucinogenic chemical that caused Robin to think his nemesis had really returned. This means that while Robin had manifested Slade, for him, the fighting was very real due to the power of the drug. So how does Robin's fight against his hallucinations relate to him having PTSD from the previous history with Slade? Well, even though they didn't outright say that Robin was traumatized or dealing with PTSD, they did say that he was being haunted. I mean, that's literally the title of the episode, Haunted. That implies that there was something from Robin's past that's haunting him, which in this case happens to be Slade. And if you don't think that Robin experienced trauma at the hand of Slade, we've been watching two different shows. The Teen Titans, and Robin specifically, were constantly at odds with Slade throughout the city, and almost every time he wasn't only trying to take over Jump City, but he was also trying to kill them. And I know they're supposed to be heroes, but in the end, the title says it all. They're teenagers. Imagine being a teenager, probably around the age of 16, and almost constantly facing death or seeing those close to you die. That alone would be enough to haunt your nightmares for years, but Robin took it another step further. He had a specific person that was basically hunting him down and doing everything he could do to sabotage him. Then Robin finally beats Slade and seems to watch him die in lava. Do you think it would have been easy for Robin to let go of the habit of looking over his shoulder or wondering when Slade would return again? No, not at all. Robin was going to have Slade chasing him for the rest of his life, even if he wasn't really there, and that's exactly what the episode Haunted showed. As you know, Slade did end up returning for real in the series on multiple instances, but he wasn't nearly the threat that he was in the past. By that point, he was more of a pawn for Trigon. That, however, is a story for a different day. Now, I'm curious to hear what you think. Was Teen Titans' depiction of PTSD through Robin something that they meant to do and did accurately? Or do you think they simply brought Slade back as a powerful enemy to show that even in death, he can still reach them? Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments below.